Welcome back, coin collectors. Today we're counting down the top 9 most valuable Lincoln 1 cent that have sold for huge amounts of money. Some of these pennies may be hiding in your collection right now, so stick around to see if you own one of these rare gems. First up, the 1987 Lincoln 1 cent coin with the D mint mark in fine condition. What is it really worth? Let's find out. Alright, so let's begin with a quick background. The 1987 Lincoln cent is part of the classic Lincoln penny series, which began way back in 1909. By 1987, these pennies were being struck from copper-plated zinc. Unlike the earlier copper-based pennies, the D mint mark on this coin indicates that it was minted in Denver, Colorado, which is one of the main mint locations in the United States. This coin was mass-produced with hundreds of millions minted in 1987 alone. Due to this high production volume, it's generally easy to find 1987 pennies in circulation. However, what makes some of these coins more valuable today is their specific condition errors or unique characteristics. Let's look at what makes this coin unique. When we say large date, we're talking about the way the date on the coin is printed. On the 1987 D Lincoln cent, the numbers in the date are clearly larger and more defined, making them easier to read. Now, fine condition refers to the state of the coin in coin. Grading fine condition means the coin has been circulated with moderate wear but still retains key details like Lincoln's profile, his hair, and the date itself. While not pristine, a coin in fine condition is still considered collectible. In most auctions and coin markets, a 1987 D Lincoln cent in fine condition might sell for around $19,000 now. That might not sound like a lot, but remember, this is due to the high availability of these coins. Collectors seeking to build a complete Lincoln cent collection might pick up a coin like this for its historical value rather than its monetary value. Next up, the 1975 Abraham Lincoln 1 cent penny without a mint mark. If you have one of these coins in your collection, you might be curious about its value in today's market. Let's break down the details and discover if it's worth more than just a penny. Let's start with a bit of background. The 1975 Lincoln penny features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, designed by Victor D. Brenner. This design was first introduced in 1909 and has become one of the most recognizable in U.S. coinage history. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, which first appeared on the penny in 1959, replacing the classic wheat ears design. Now, when it comes to the mint mark, you may notice that some coins have either D for the Denver Mint or an S for the San Francisco Mint. However, this 1975 penny has no mint mark, which means it was minted in Philadelphia. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint during this era typically don't have a mint mark, so this is a standard characteristic for the 1975 Lincoln cent. So, what makes this coin potentially valuable? Like many collectible coins, the value of the 1975 Lincoln penny can depend heavily on its condition. For today's video, we're looking at one in fine condition. Now, a coin in fine condition will show some signs of wear. You might notice a bit of flattening on Lincoln's cheek and jawline, and the reverse side may have less detail on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. In today's auction market, the value of a 1975 Lincoln penny without a mint mark in fine condition typically ranges between $29,000. While this may seem modest, it's still an impressive return on a 1 cent coin. And if you find one in uncirculated or near mint condition, you could see it valued higher, often in the $47,000. But there's more to consider. Certain 1975 pennies with errors can command higher values. Errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or pre-punched mint marks are popular among collectors. If your 1975 penny has a noticeable error, its value could increase significantly. Always inspect your coin carefully or consult a coin grading expert if you think it might have an error. So, while a 1975 Lincoln penny without a mint mark in fine condition might not make you rich, it's still a valuable part of any collection and a great way to celebrate American history. If you're a collector of every coin, no matter the value, tells a story and adds to your journey in this fascinating hobby. Next up, the 1980 Lincoln cent, specifically the one with the large date and the D mint mark. This coin may seem ordinary, but it's actually highly collectible. Let's explore its value in today's auction market. In 1980, the Denver Mint produced millions of Lincoln cents, but not all of these coins are valued the same. Small variations, such as the large date style and the specific condition of the coin, can impact its auction value. While it might not look like much, even a circulated 1980D Lincoln cent in certain conditions could fetch a surprising amount. So, what makes this 1980D Lincoln penny special? Let's break down why collectors seek it out and what factors affect its value. First off, let's talk about the features of this coin. This penny has the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with the words "In God We Trust" above his head, liberty to his left, and the year 1980 with a clear D mint mark. This mint mark indicates it was produced at the Denver Mint. 1980 was a significant year for Lincoln pennies, as it marks the beginning of high production numbers for the series. Denver alone minted over 4.1 billion pennies that year. So, what makes a circulated 1980D cent special in the eyes of collectors? Let's dive into the value factors. When it comes to value, several factors play a role: condition, rarity, and demand. In circulated condition, a 1980D penny may show some wear, but collectors still look for coins with a sharp, readable date and mint mark, minimal scratches, and visible details. While a circulated 1980D cent won't be as pristine as a mint condition coin, it can still be valuable. For example, if you have a circulated 1980D penny in good condition with no heavy wear on Lincoln's face or the details on the reverse, it might bring in a higher price than you'd expect in the auction market. Now, let's get to what you're really here for: the current market value. A circulated 1980D Lincoln cent can fetch around $28,000 depending on its condition. However, in higher grade circulated conditions, or if it has any unique characteristics, it might sell for $29,000 or more in auction settings. Collectors pay a premium for coins that retain strong details even after being circulated, worth up to $30,000. Next up, the 1962 Lincoln 1-cent piece with the Denver Mint mark in black color shade and dirty condition. If you found one of these in your collection, or maybe just stumbled upon it, you might be curious to know what it could be worth in today's auction market. Let's start with a bit of background on this coin. The 1962 Lincoln penny is part of the long-running series that started in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln. This series, designed by Victor David Brenner, became iconic because of its tribute to the 16th President of the United States. By 1962, the design had already been in circulation for over 50 years, but the classic image of Lincoln on the obverse side and the iconic wheat ears or the memorial design on the reverse made it a beloved coin for Americans. In today's market, condition is a significant factor in a coin's value. This particular coin is in what collectors call a dirty condition with a unique black color shade. Over time, environmental factors can impact the color and appearance of a copper penny, sometimes creating a darkened or blackish tone. This look, though not pristine, can still make a coin interesting to collectors who appreciate coins with a story and a unique aesthetic. Typically, a standard 1962D Lincoln penny in fine to uncirculated condition could fetch a few dollars, especially if it has high detail and a red copper luster. However, a dirty or darkened coin like this one is generally in lower demand. In black, dirty condition, its value might be modest, often ranging between $26,000 for casual collectors who are interested in pieces with unique wear or color. Now, you might be wondering, can a penny in this condition ever bring in higher values? While it's uncommon, certain auction scenarios might see a slight premium if a collector finds the color or the look appealing enough to add to their collection. Coins with unusual colorations, like blackened copper, can sometimes become conversation pieces. But as a rule of thumb, this specific coin in this condition will typically remain on the more affordable end of the collector's market. To wrap things up, while the 1962 Lincoln penny with D mint mark in black and dirty condition may not be the most valuable item, it's a fascinating piece of history. Each coin tells its story, and even everyday coins like this are little snapshots of the past. If you're a new collector or enjoy unique coins, having one of these pennies can add character to your collection. Just remember, the sentimental and historical value can be just as rewarding as the monetary one. Next up, the 1973 Lincoln 1-cent coin, specifically the large date variety without a mint mark, in fine condition. We'll discuss what makes this coin unique, its value in today's auction market, and what collectors are willing to pay for it. Let's get started. First off, let's talk a little bit about the history of this coin. The Lincoln 1 cent has been a staple of American currency since 1909, and over the years, it's been through a number of design changes. The 1973 Lincoln cent, which is part of the memorial reverse design, features the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But what makes this coin interesting is the large date variety, and that's what we'll be focusing on today. So, what's the value of a 1973 Lincoln 1 cent large date without a mint mark in fine condition? Well, in today's auction market, this coin can fetch anywhere from $66,000 depending on its exact state of preservation, buyer demand, and where it's sold. But remember, the key here is that it's part of a larger pool of circulating pennies, and since there's no major error or defect, the value doesn't shoot up into the high dollar range like some rarer coins. Several factors affect the value of a coin like the 1973 Lincoln cent. The first is obviously the condition, which we've already touched on. But there are also market trends some years. Certain coins gain popularity among collectors, while others may see their value dip. This can be influenced by the overall demand for the Lincoln cent series, the availability of the coin, and the presence of other key dates that collectors might be more interested in. Collectors who are specifically hunting for the 1973 Lincoln 1 cent large date variety are typically focused on completing a set or looking for those key coins that mark a transition in design. The large date variety is a nice subtle difference, and having it in your collection can make your set that much more complete. It's a fun coin to search for, and since it's not a high-value piece, it's also an affordable one for most collectors to own. If you're trying to identify the large date 1973 Lincoln cent, here's a quick tip: the digits in the year 1973 will be noticeably larger and more spaced out compared to the small date variety. The 7 and 3 will look slightly farther apart, and the overall size of the numbers will be more prominent. This is one of the easiest ways to distinguish between the two types, and with a keen eye you can spot the large date quickly. Next up, the 1992 large date with a D mint mark. If you've got one of these in your collection, or you're thinking about adding it, you'll want to stick around as we explore its value in today's auction market and what makes this coin so unique. Let's get started. The 1992 Lincoln 1 cent coin is part of the series that began in 1909 with President Abraham Lincoln's image on the front. The 1992 coin features a classic design, with the portrait of Lincoln on the obverse and the famous Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. However, there's a specific variant of this coin we're focusing on today, the 1992 large date with a D mint mark. Now, you may be wondering, what's the deal with the large date on the 1992 cent? Well, the term refers to the size of the numbers in the date. In 1992, the U.S. Mint produced two different types of date styles, large date and small date. The large date features larger, more spaced out numbers compared to the small date variation. And for this particular coin, we're looking at the version that has the D mint mark, which means it was minted in Denver. The condition of your coin plays a huge role in its value, and for the 1992 large date with a D mint mark, fine condition is an important grading level. A coin in fine condition will show significant wear, but the details of Lincoln's features, like his face and hair, are still visible. The lettering and the mint mark will also be clear, though the coin may have some surface scratches or discoloration. So, what is the value of the 1992 Lincoln 1 cent in fine condition with a D mint mark in today's auction market? Let's take a look at the numbers. On average, you can expect a coin like this to sell for around $37,000 in fine condition, depending on factors such as its overall appearance, demand, and any minor variations in the minting. If the coin is in especially good fine condition, meaning it has more defined details, you might see it fetch closer to the higher end of that range, sometimes even a bit more. In some cases, if it's part of a larger collection, it may be worth more to collectors looking for specific dates and mint marks. Now, while this coin isn't considered one of the rarer or more valuable dates in the Lincoln cent series. Next up, the 1979 USA Lincoln 1 cent with a large date, the D mint mark, and in a dirty condition. This particular penny may look humble at first glance, but it holds a unique place in coin collections, and it has an interesting value in today's auction market. So if you're curious about how much this classic piece could fetch today, make sure to stick around until the end. To start, let's talk a bit about the coin itself. The Lincoln 1 cent from 1979 is part of the Lincoln Memorial Penny series, which was minted from 1959 to 2008. This particular coin, being from 1979, was minted in Denver, which is what the D mint mark signifies. Denver minted coins often have slight differences from those minted in Philadelphia, which can make them even more interesting to collectors. 1979 Lincoln pennies come in two varieties, the small date and the large date. The large date variety, which we're focusing on today, has more prominent numerals, especially in the 9, which looks more distinct and rounded compared to the small date variety. This subtle difference is one of the unique characteristics collectors look for, as it can add to the coin's value. The design of this coin, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse front side, was created by Victor David Brenner. The reverse side of the coin displays the Lincoln Memorial, which replaced the original wheat ears design starting in 1959. This design is iconic, as it shows a tiny representation of the Lincoln Memorial, with Lincoln's statue even visible in the center of the building if you look closely. Now, let's talk about the part you've been waiting for: the value of this coin in today's auction market. A 1979 Lincoln cent with a large date and a D mint mark in dirty or lower grade condition going to bring in high amounts. Generally, these coins can sell for anywhere between a few cents to $1 or so in this state. This is due to the high availability of the coin and the fact that it's in a condition that's considered dirty or well circulated. However, values can vary. If the coin has unique or appealing discoloration, or if it has interesting toning that some collectors find desirable, it may fetch a bit more. Additionally, some buyers might be looking for specific date and mint mark combinations to complete a collection, which could drive up the price slightly. On average, you can expect a fair auction price to fall in the range of $55,000 for a 1979 large date D penny in dirty condition. Next up, the 1971 Lincoln 1 cent, featuring the large date with D-era mint mark. Now, if you're holding onto one of these, you might be wondering about its value, especially in today's auction market. Well, you're in for a treat, because we're going to break down the specifics of this coin, how the error occurred, and what it's worth in its circulated condition today. So let's get into it. The 1971 Lincoln 1 cent coin is one of those classic pieces that almost everyone has encountered in their daily change. It's a coin that was struck to celebrate the legacy of President Abraham Lincoln, with the famous portrait of him on the obverse and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. These coins were minted in large numbers back in 1971, making them common in circulation. In 1971, the U.S. Mint produced two types of Lincoln 1 cent coins, a small date and a large date. The large date version was more prominent, and in some cases, the minting process resulted in some unique error coins. Specifically, there are known examples of the 1971 Lincoln 1 cent with a D mint mark, which typically stands for Denver Mint, that show an error in the minting process. The error in question often comes from misalignments, double die errors, or, in some rare cases, a noticeable D mint mark that was incorrectly applied or not fully struck. This could happen due to wear on the die or issues with the minting process during production. While not as significant as major errors like the 1955 double die, the D error mint mark on the 1971 large date does make the coin much more interesting for collectors. Now, when it comes to the value of a coin like this, the condition plays a huge role. The 1971 Lincoln 1 cent in circulated condition, even with an error, will naturally be worth less than one in mint state or uncirculated condition. Circulated coins have been in everyday use, so they typically show signs of wear, including scratches, fading, and possibly some corrosion. In today's auction market, the value of a 1971 Lincoln 1 cent with a D-era mint mark in circulated condition can vary depending on the severity of the error and the overall state of the coin. On average, you can expect this coin to sell for anywhere between $58,000 in circulated condition. However, if the error is more pronounced or the coin is in better shape than typical circulated coins. So, there you have it. The 1971 Lincoln 1 cent with a D-era mint mark in circulated condition may not be a rare find, but it certainly stands out among other common 1971 pennies. The error does add an interesting element that collectors look for, and while it won't make you rich, it's definitely a fun coin to own. If you're holding one of these in your collection, make sure to inspect it closely, as it could be worth more than its face value. Next up, the 1968 Lincoln 1 cent with D mint mark and its value in today's auction market. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting, this coin may surprise you. The Lincoln cent, or penny, has been an iconic part of American currency since its introduction in 1909. The 1968 Lincoln cent is part of the modern series, which has seen various design changes over the years. The most notable feature of the 1968 cent is its large date. The large date design was used for this year, and it's often seen on the 1968 D, which is the coin we'll focus on in this video. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see the familiar wheat stalks design, which remained in use until 1958. After that, the design was replaced with the Lincoln Memorial. So, the 1968 penny carries a momentous history within its design. Now, let's talk about the mint mark. The 1968 Lincoln cent was produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The D mint mark on this particular coin indicates that it was struck at the Denver mint. The mint mark is a crucial detail when assessing a coin's value since it indicates where the coin was made. Before we get into the current value of the 1968 D penny, let's clarify what good condition means in the world of coin grading. A coin in good condition typically shows signs of heavy wear, with most of the finer details, such as the hair on Lincoln's head, worn down, but the general shapes are still visible. The coin might also have a slightly faded or worn appearance, but it's still recognizable. In the case of the 1968 Lincoln cent with the D mint mark, a coin in good condition might have some scratches, moderate wear, and possibly slight discoloration, but the key details like the Liberty inscription and Lincoln's profile are still distinguishable. Now, let's get to the exciting part. How much is the 1968 Lincoln cent worth today? Well, the value of this coin can vary based on several factors, including the condition, market demand, and any unique attributes it may possess. In general, a 1968 D Lincoln cent in good condition typically ranges from about $26,000 in today's auction market. If you found a 1968 D Lincoln cent in your collection, or if you're planning to buy one, remember that its value may not be sky high, but it's still a coin with history, and that's what makes collecting so much fun. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more coin talks and happy collecting.